Our 3 News Now investigative team is looking into the struggles of rural health care. Facilities are running on shoestring budgets. There are closures, service cutbacks. Tonight, we look into OB health services. Jeff Van Sant joins us with more on this story. Jeff?
Yeah, rural health is going through rough times across the country. The biggest challenges facilities face is shifting population. Some areas are growing older, making it harder to maintain OB services for young women. 4-month-old Phoebe is a bit fussy, wanting to nap. Her mother Sarah is there to take care of her. Phoebe is small for her age, born premature.
With premature babies, you never know, which is pretty scary. But she was on some breathing support for about the first 24 hours, but after that, there was nothing.
They're home now in the small town of Arapahoe in south-central Nebraska. Getting to this point wasn't easy. Complications with the pregnancy threatened both their lives.
I noticed that my blood pressure all of a sudden skyrocketed to very high, dangerous levels.
Sarah is treated by her doctor based in Lexington, around 40 miles away. She's diagnosed with preeclampsia, a complication causing a dangerous spike in the mom's blood pressure and could cause a child to be born premature. Sarah needs specialized care and had to move to Methodist Women's Hospital in Omaha, 3.5 hours away.
Move your hand.
She spent a total of 9.5 weeks in the hospital, all this time away from home.
My family, my husband and his family, they're all here. So being that far from home was difficult. I had some visitors, which was nice, but you know, they can't stay 4.5 weeks with you.
Sarah's story isn't unique. OB health services can be tough to come by in rural communities. According to the Chartis Center for Rural Health, 152 rural hospitals nationwide have lost OB services since 2011, leaving only 46% that still provide it.
I think it's getting tougher. I think it's tougher to manage a small facility. The overhead costs have gotten worse. The regulations have gotten more difficult.
Dr. Teresa Berg with the University of Nebraska Medicine runs a team of doctors who travel to these rural areas providing specialized care. She says it's hard for these rural areas to have this kind of care because the demand just isn't there.
If I was living in Kearney and only doing what I do right now, I probably would work 1 or 2 days a week. You know, most people, and I have to be on call for myself all the time.
Rural health is a complicated issue. Populations are getting older, shifting, changing, but there's still a need.
Being a rural area, we're used to driving to doctor appointments, eye appointments, hair appointments, for any of our entertainment, for anything. So that's just part of our way of life.
In Sarah's case, she had the time to get to the facility she needed, but if there's a bigger emergency, it's a lot tougher.
But it all worked out.
Sarah now gets to enjoy her little Phoebe, who gets stronger and bigger every day.
It was scary. We're glad to be home.
And Jeff is here now to talk more about this topic. Now, what are some of the factors causing cutbacks in services?
Well, when you look at these shifting populations, I mean, the problem is that younger people are now going to the bigger cities, Omaha, Kansas City, all over the place, and they're not sticking within these rural communities. So, you know, obviously when the population shifts, so do those services, but there's still some young people that are there, and those people tend to suffer. I mean, yeah, you have your practitioners, your regular practitioners who can do regular births, but when it comes to a specialist, if you need something like preeclampsia, you're going to have to go somewhere else.
Sure, and if this is a problem we're seeing that might need fixing, what are some of the solutions they're saying are out there?
I mean, that's what's so tough, is that they're trying to figure out how we could best work this in. So a lot of people, they don't want to travel so far from home to get, you know, maybe to speak with a specialist. So there's a lot of things like telehealth. Mm-hmm. So that's actually one of our next stories, is we're going to be talking to a doctor who does telehealth across the state, even out of the state, and it's pretty fascinating. So instead of someone driving 2-3 hours, they're just sitting at home talking to their doctor there. But you know, when it comes to funding and everything else, I mean, it's kind of up in the air. We talk to a lot of politicians, and it just seems like, well, we just got to figure these things out, and it's basically there's no solution.
Right, and we know it's not just a Nebraska thing. It's rural areas throughout the country. Are there any success stories of places that are doing it differently.
So there's Broken Bow actually is beginning to offer OB services once again. So that kind of shows maybe there are more younger folks that are going to be moving into that area. So that's kind of an interesting, kind of bucks the trend. But I mean, the good news is for Nebraskans out there is that we are actually faring a lot better than other states like Florida, Georgia, and other places like that where services are really getting devastated.
All right, Jeff, thanks so much. Obviously, you said that you have other stories coming up as well. It's something you've been covering in the past. You continue to work on.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at telehealth next, and we're going to be actually sitting in a doctor's house. And we're going to be watching him literally sometimes an emergency situation, give some ideas, or just doing a regular, hey, here's your regular checkup kind of thing. So it's going to be really fascinating.
Yeah, look forward to that. Thanks so much, Jeff. Taking a live look out.